Okay, I've had a few different questions about the assignment in lesson 14. So I thought I would clarify a few things. I think that the way the questions are written may be a little confusing and may be tripping some of you up. So I just wanted to clarify. So this is the one where it's talking about you've created a new concept for a video game. You're going to be producing video games, and it talks about the cost of production as well as the revenue, and then you have to calculate break-even point. So the first question asks you to write a word equation that represents the total cost to manufacture any number of games. So for this, it's just asking you to write it out in words. Okay, so I might write something like total cost equals the number of video games times $4, because that's what it costs to produce each one, plus $20,000. So it's asking you to write it out as a word equation. I think that's tripping some of you guys up. The second question asks you to write it as a mathematical equation. So remember, we know that the standard form of a linear equation looks like y equals mx plus b. So your equation should give me the same information as the word equation, but it should be written in the form y equals mx plus b. Okay, so probably y is going to represent your total cost, okay, and x is going to represent the thing that's changing, the number of video games. And normally we might write it like this. So I equals 4x plus 20,000. Okay? Because it says to you that x is the independent variable, so it's the thing that changes that the other variable is dependent on. So the total cost of production is dependent on the number of video games that we're producing. That makes sense. Okay, so then you'll do the same thing for number 3 and 4. You're writing it as a word equation, and then you're writing it as a mathematical equation. The instructions say to use a graphing calculator to graph it, so you're welcome to do it either on graph paper by hand, or to use a graphing calculator, or to use a program like Desmos to graph it. Any of those options are fine for this assignment. Do what is most comfortable to you. The second part of the assignment is the break-even point. It's part B. Now, it says to use either substitution or elimination to solve for the break-even point. From a business standpoint, it makes most sense for you to set the two equations equal. So once you come up with your revenue and your cost,